there's considerable cost. So we need photo capture, signature. We want signature capture, photo capture. We want integration with Rouse Analytics, Smart Equip. From what's it called? A rental side. Right now, Zeisel has what they call rate cards, and you attach a rate card to the rental contract. And if you go to change the rate, you can't change the rate on the contract. You have to go into the card to change the rate. And if you go change the rate in the cards, then any contract that has that card on it changes across the board. So we need like a functionality where the rates are, you have book rates that you can discount off of within the contract itself. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense.
And we want to have the availability to discount not per. We want discount, be able to discount individually based off the rates on that contract. So you have a day, a week, and a month. We want to discount, if we want to not discount on a day and a week, but discount on a month, we want that capability. I mean, those are some of the things. There's more things right now. I mean, there's more than that, but those are some of the things. Maybe one other thing would be insurance. When the certificate of insurance, we get one. We're told when it's expired, but also that if they have $100,000 worth of equipment coverage, that if they get $300,000 based on the original equipment cost, that it alerts us so we know.
Okay.
We'd like some type of integration with mapping.
To map the location of the equipment?
Of the delivery.
Of the delivery,
So,
okay.
Yeah, like a logistics platform.
Okay.
We want mobile service. Mobile pickup delivery, so we can, get the photo capture on site and to shoot the contract to the person. I mean, that's enough to start with, I guess.
Well, I guess we have all of that stuff that you described. We have that. I'm not sure I'm prepared to show you all of that today. But we have customers that have the Rouse Analytics, and they compare it against our data. So they can see what their utilization is, their pricing is based on the other people in their area.
Mm-hmm.
That's one of the things I can't show for sure.
Oh yeah, I just need to. The contract is going to be written that you have to be able to make the integration happen. And
sure.
You're one of their vendors, because not everyone offers that.
Right. And then and then we have a mobile application that is used for checking in and checking out equipment, doing an inspection, a walk around inspection.
Yeah. Do you have something that's different than just like opening up a work order to do repairs? Do you have like where you can have sheets loaded or documents loaded that are just check out sheets on the base type of equipment?
Yes. I think I should be able to actually show. I can show you that. Let me get my mobile applicate, or the thing that can show my mobile on here.
And how do you all do hosting? Do you all host? Do you all just sell it and say you need a server to do this?
We'll let you choose either way.
Okay. And then how do you all, if you do the hosting, how do you host? Is it through a Citrix platform? Is it through just a regular RDP, or is it with a VPN? Is it?
It's with a VPN. We have a connection software called Wavefire Connect, which is basically just creates a VPN, and then you just run the same software that you would run on your own servers if you had it.
Okay. And what's the lag time on that?
There's really no lag time, because you're really running the software on the server. So there's no speed degradation on that.
Okay. I mean, because I'll VPN into mine, and I have a degradation completely, where like the screens are slow and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's not. Well, it doesn't. Yeah, it's not using the technology is a little bit more advanced for that.
Okay.
So let's see. So eSign is one of our mobile applications, and I'm sharing my screen. Hopefully you can see it.
Yeah. I see
okay.
it.
So a few things that you can do in the eSign platform is you can, if you're delivering parts and things like that, you can get those signatures on those. The equipment transfer is designed for you to transfer equipment between branches and initiate the transfer from the mobile application, so you know that what you're loading up on the truck is actually the one that you're really wanting to transfer, and that type of thing. And then we have depending on how you have settings set up in our system, we'd either create a PO or not, depending on, like I said, the settings for the other branch to receive it against. On the rental orders, that's where we do mark the location of where it was dropped off, and then we have a mapping system inside of the ERP that would show you where all of the orders were dropped off.
Okay.
And then on our inspections, are you just doing a general inspection, or are you doing a rental inspection?
Like a check in, check out.
Right. Here, let me
I mean, it could be an annual inspection too.
Yeah, so you can just do any kind of inspection. You can just walk up and say, I want to inspect a piece of equipment, and you can scan it, and then what it does is, hopefully this guy's. So,
excuse me. What do you put in, a serial number or something?
So an equipment ID.
Okay.
So you scan a QR code, and typically in the QR code we have an equipment ID, a make, model, and serial number, and then depending on what mobile application you're using and what it needs, it would do the check-in. It's got a space in it, I think. Come on. Let me grab an equipment ID that I know works here.
It doesn't give you a list?
Of the rental inspections?
Of the equipment.
Yeah, it will list what's on it actually goes and looks and sees what's on the order.
But I mean, just from a search function.
Oh, you could search for for the equipment. I'm looking for, since I'm doing a check-in, it's expecting it to come in on a rental contract.
Oh, I see. So if you had 6 pieces on that rental contract, you could use the contract number and then.
Correct. So it actually goes and finds it. How can this be? It says a invalid equipment ID. I know that's not correct.
Don't worry, you're not the first demo that I've had where there's a technical problem.
Well, we've been doing. I know we're active. We're about to put out a new release of this, and I may not be connected to the right spot, and that's why it's giving me problems.
You guys are all versed to know what to say. I think I heard that before.
Well, no, I mean it's literally is true.
I know. I'm just busting.
Oh, okay. Hey, look at here. Finally, it worked for some reason. Okay, and yeah. All right. So I only have one. So it finds the order and the customer,
okay.
And I only have one on this contract. So it says I'm just saying I want to check that in. And then it comes up and asks about doing a walk around inspection.
Okay.
And then it also asks for, so we're capturing the latitude and longitude of where the picture is being taken. And so you're doing a walk around inspection, so you find an issue.
I got you. And then you enter your notes.
You enter your notes, and then it takes you to a. Where happened to my gallery here?
On that previous screen that said fuel level.
Mm-hmm.
Is that going to be like full, 3/4, half, or empty, or quarter, or is it going to? Okay.
Yeah. So what it does is it goes in the application goes and looks at what group and product it is that you're checking in. Mm-hmm. It also checks to see it presents a checklist that's specific to the type of equipment.
So does that fuel, say I picked half, does half a tank get added to the contract then?
It does not do that, but we could make it work that way. Right now, it just comes in on the checklist, and then they can adjust the contract. But we just haven't been asked to. We haven't been asked to do that, actually.
Pretty neat idea, huh?
It's a very neat idea. That's how we get new ideas.
I'll send you my first hour of billing.
Yeah, we'll take that off your price. And then that where it says due status, that would tell us if there's any PMs due.
Okay.
And then you set up the checklist based on, you can have drop downs, you can have notes to enter. You can put in
that camera. If you touch that on the screen, does it access the camera? Yep. Okay. Cool.
Yep. Yeah. So that's an additional photograph that you can take. It just says, I want to use that photo, and you can make them mandatory or not. And then, maybe you figure out that you've got something wrong, so they can change the status to maintenance. And at that point, that would put it into the maintenance We have a rental fleet maintenance screen, and it would put it in there, and so you could get work orders open for it and things like that.
Okay.
And then you just hit submit. It gives you a place to review both the walk around and the checklist. I think I'm not connected to the correct URL, but because I'm not getting all my review stuff. And then if it's got a photo, so you can go back and look at the photo.
Okay. Doesn't have a place to see the photos once done or whatever.
Yeah, so once the photos are all taken, the checklist that you fill out and all the photographs that you've recorded go on to actually get put onto a PDF, and then we store those in the equipment images folder, either under check-in, check-out, or inspections.
Okay.
There's a place
now,
here
does it always stay linked to the contract?
Yes.
Okay.
And there's a place for you to capture the customer signature. And then you can choose an email address to send it to or capture a new one.
Okay.
Our internet is just dog slow today. I don't know it's been like this all day.
But this is what will happen to me if our internet's slow, huh?
Yeah, and because we're uploading pictures and other things here too. So, yeah, I mean, unfortunately, it's crazy. It keeps spending more and more money on internet, and they keep telling me it's faster and faster, but we always seem to get to the same point.
Well, we just found out that the internet company they might tell you get 100 over 100, but they'll slow it down depending on your usage and stuff.
Nice.
I know, it's a sham.
Yeah. Like I say, I think I may not be connected to the proper web service here, so I think I'm still connected to the old one. And so what I'm doing is I'm using the new app against the old web service. So, but this would upload and get it up to the system. And so we would recommend, if possible, that you put QR codes on your equipment, and then we've got other mobile applications, such as eCount, and it's designed for you to do equipment inventories, cycle counting for parts, and parts receipts.
Your accounting system, is that built in-house, or do you all use something else, or do you have an accounting system?
Yeah, we have an accounting system, and it's ours, and it's built into the system.
And how did the taxes work? Do you all sub that out so that the taxes stay updated?
We have you can subscribe to a service to update the sales taxes, but if you're covering several states, we also have an integration to Avalara, and they calculate sales tax. And so whenever you invoice something, we tell Avalara what's on the invoice. They tell us what the tax is. We put it on there, and that all happens within a matter of tenths of a second. So it doesn't slow anything down. And then we have a mobile CRM also, and equipment search, so that people can search for equipment outside of the building on a mobile application.
Okay.
And there's pictures and standard sale rates and standard rental rates and all that kind of stuff in it.
How do the rates work? If I put a rate on a contract and I want to change the rate, is it going to affect every contract or?
No, just the one contract.
Okay. And how do you enter rates?
Let me stop my mirroring here. So we have a couple of different ways that you can do that. You can either put them on the equipment themselves, or what most people will do is they'll use the pricing controls for rental pricing.
Mm-hmm.
And then we also have specific pricing for customer rental rates. So if you use just the rental pricing, you can go specifically all the way down to the class is a way for you to class customers together for rental rates. So you could say maybe you might have large customers, medium-sized customers, and small customers.
Yeah.
So you could have a different class for each one of those, and then the group, the product, and the model. And then what the rental rates are. And then you can also offer a promotion or a contract price.
Mm-hmm.
And make it valid, from a date to a date, and we'll automatically take it off for you. And then you can have overtime rates as well. And then this is when we do this is how the accounting is going to get done.
Okay. So where you have standard rates, you have first day 225. What's that 6 right next to it?
That's an excellent question.
Are those hours or?
I think they're hours.
Like strange
I'm
hours?
pretty sure.
But
let's see. Actually, let's see if our help file tells us. Control files, pricing controls, rental pricing. Standard rates. Tells us to pull the rental rates from the control file. The other one tells us from the pen. Yeah, it doesn't tell us in there what those are. I'm not sure. I'll have to find out for you.
And then where it says % to apply, you can close that out and go back, but the % to apply, is that your discount?
That's if you want. No, that's for adding overtime. If you want to apply a percentage or a certain amount.
I thought that was on to the right of that. I thought overtime was.
Oh, you're right. You're right. Again, I'm not. I guess I'm not sure.
You have
%
standard
to
rate
apply.
price, and then you have % to apply.
Yeah, I'll just have to get an answer for you.
Ron, if you look under overtime rates, where it says rate %, the second column is hours. I think they are hours.
Well, those are hours there, yes, for overtime purposes,
okay.
But I'm not sure what these are over here.
Okay.
They're just screwing. If they said 40 and 160, I'd probably say they were hours, but those are just screwy hour increments.
Yeah, the 633 and 133. Yeah,
Yeah.
and it doesn't look like in every control. This is demo data too, so it could just be just screwy information that happens sometimes. So if I look at one that's not, it's still got
change 6 to 32 to 128. Is that the price per day? So 522, 5 divided, no, because 7 times, no.
no.
Okay, well, I'm not too worried about that right now, but it might be good to know what that is.
No, yeah, sure.
I don't mean for you. I'm just saying in general.
Well, no, it'd be good for me to know too. I learn stuff about our system every day, and I've been doing this for a while. So I just want to see if it's
user account you have, user base or customer.
We have a customer that has 36 branches.
Okay.
Yeah. And we've got several in the 15, the 15 to 20 range is more the norm.
You all have in the U.S.?
In North America, we have 150.
Okay. You all are out of Texas? Is that what my memory serves me right?
Yes, we're in Houston.
Okay. And how many people do you have on your team?
We have 18.
How much of that is support?
In support, there's 11.
Okay.
It's primarily support. Yeah, so we divide those 11 up over level 1, 2, and 3 support, and then level 4 would be the development team.
Okay. How many people are in development?
The only people who so we've got 5 in development.
Okay.
We just hired one. That's why I was struggling. We just hired one. So
5 of the 11. So 6 people in support outside of development.
Well, no, the level 2 and level 3 are still in support. They didn't. Now, the level 3 people might also do quality assurance and things like that, but it's just higher level knowledge of the system.
Well, you said, so is development outside of that 11 people?
Yes.
Oh, okay. So you have 11 true support people and then additional 5 development.
Right.
Well, that's what, 11 and 5, 6. Then you only have 2 other people.
Yeah, me and Jason, and then the controller. Maybe we've got 19 people now.
Are you the owner?
I own some of it. I have a partner.
Okay. All right. Well, I mean that's pretty neat as far as the rates, but how can you discount on a day and then a week and a month individually, or has that not been asked yet?
No, so you go in. So let's just get something on rent, or try to get something on rent. Okay. So if I could type, we'd be in business here. So we have this particular customer has an alert set up on them. So we get an alert, and you can have alerts on equipment and vendors and customers and parts and things like that. On the rental detail, our options here are to create a rental, and we can bill for overtime. We can do a one-time bill, set it up as a demo, or reserve either a specific unit or a group and product for a future rental.
Okay. If it goes
If you know
into
the,
demo and it's in stock, does it pull it into depreciation mode or no?
yes.
Even on a demo?
No, it would not. It does not. Because it's a separate classification.
But you can put it on a rental contract as a demo.
Right, and it just changes the status to demo.
Okay.
And typically it's a $0 rent. It just helps you keep track of who's got it. You know,
Yeah, that's fine.
we've had customers lose excavators before, so that's why it's there.
We've had our share of follies and everything, but we've been fortunate to find it.
Right. So if we, so then we give you the ability to search your inventory. So maybe for available, rent, and then you can also put in a group, product, manufacturer, model, class, or subclass as ways to break up your inventory. And then we have attributes.
Does this follow the Ralph stuff, Ralph category classification?
It can, if you set it up that way. And we have customers that do. So, yeah. And then the attributes for it. If I hit search, then it brings me a list of the equipment that matches my search. If I mouse over these, it shows me the rental rates for them.
Mm-hmm.
If I click it and bring it into my line, it brings in the rates. So for this one contract, if you wanted to discount just the monthly, that's how easy that is to do.
Okay, beautiful. And that doesn't affect any other contract.
Nope.
Okay. That's what we cannot do now. It's the most retarded effing thing I've ever seen.
And then our options here are to do a normal rental, or we can package units together.
Okay,
so you can,
like if you rent an air compressor and a chipping hammer and hoses, you can create a package.
Right. And then depending on what the package units make up of the package determines what income and depreciation they get.
Okay. Why would that affect depreciation? If you're depreciating every month, why would that do that?
Well, I say that if you're doing a percent of rent.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, some people only do depreciation based off of percent of rent?
Some people do, yeah. That's actually, it's reasonably common.
Oh, damn. That's crazy. That actually would be
Yeah, and especially people who will allow, that will rent anything, even if it's new.
Uh-huh.
It's real common. Yeah. All right, so we'll just get this on as a normal rental, and then we, ask about any, additional taxes that there might be.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll just say yes to that and get that tax put on there. We can put on a line item note. Here's the check for the insurance certificate.
It doesn't automatically tell you.
On the tax?
Yeah, when you create that customer and put that stuff in, it doesn't tell you not enough insurance or whatever.
Yeah, so it does. It actually does the check. It checks for the amount, and it also checks for whether it's expired or not.
Okay. All right.
And it also checks to see if it's going to expire during the term, also, or actually what it does.
Does the amount compare against the original equipment cost?
Yes.
Okay.
So in that case, if we need, for instance, that we either could take care of the certificate issue, or we could go over and add a loss damage waiver.
Okay.
So in this case, we'll do that.
Is that on a different area of the contract, or?
You just use miscellaneous
Okay.
to sell it. That's what we.
Where did
So
you
then
go
on
before?
I was on the rental detail.
Okay. So you can't just add it as a line item on the.
And it'll be a line item on the invoice.
But you can't add it as a line item on the rental detail?
No, because we actually will let you all of these items here. You could actually sell on one contract.
Okay. If you got to go out of one screen into a new screen and back and forth, then.
Yeah, it's actually fairly. I mean, you just hit escape and you're back to this screen.
Mm-hmm.
And then you hit escape and it takes you back to this screen. Then on the end order screen, we default in how you normally do business. So if you normally advance bill, it will say yes. However, for this one contract, you can change it.
Can you so right now we're getting a lot of complaints from some customers because Sunbelt and United, they bill, say you have 100, 300, 900 as your rate. And after 3 weeks, it bills the 900, right?
Right.
Or actually after 2 weeks and 3 days, because 2 weeks would be 100, or 2 weeks would be $600, and then 3 days would be another $300, or 3 days would be a week, and so you'd be at 2 weeks and 3 days it would bill 900. Can you have it bill like that?
Yes.
And how do you set that? How's that set up in your system?
You tell it. There's a dealer control that sets that up.
Are those controls
and we give you
basically?
Not really. Your permissions is more under the administration. But this is, so the system will act this way and account for things this way. That's what the controls are more for.
So those are your rules, and the administrations are what allows people to get to where.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And so we have different rental calculations. Days to start. I'm sorry.
So what is for always first period? What were the other ones? Change after first month, prorate after 22 days, prorate weeks, no prorate 3 days week.
Yeah, this is the rental return calculation.
Oh, okay.
And then on the days to start rent,
okay.
and depending on how you have those things set up will determine, how the system handles the pricing. And if you normally, normally it's 20. If your rate is normally 28, so you could just enter through those, or not even have to enter them. But you could, for this one contract, you could change it to a monthly or a straight day's billing.
All right.
And then
Do you have what do they call the invoicing? I forget what Dicel calls it, but they invoice every day and it tells you what contracts you need to bill for.
cycle billing.
I guess so. I don't know what we call it, what they call it, but yes, I mean probably same thing.
Yeah, well, we call it cycle billing.
Okay.
So you can run it through this date, and it'll cycle bill anything since the last time you cycle billed.
Okay.
So you could run it, somebody's going to be gone for a week or something. You could go ahead and get those things invoiced if you want to.
Oh, before they leave?
Yeah.
Okay.
But if you came in here and ran this every day with cycle bill, whatever, again, whatever was not just for the day, because if you ran it every day, right, should be just that one day.
Okay.
And then we're going to deliver it. So maybe we'll deliver it tomorrow, and we'll also start the rent tomorrow. And then we have an expected return. So in case in case it's going to be out for a while, you may want to put that in there. But then maybe when you're looking for things that are available, and you can't find anything available, but then you can go and see what's on rent and see what might be coming back if those dates are kept up. We can go ahead and just create the reservation at this point, or we can activate the contract.
Okay.
We can also log it in to be transported. So we need to have it delivered. We have a transportation log that you can log it into, and then whoever manages that can get the bill of lading and decide who's going to carry it and all that kind of stuff. So we'll go ahead and create the order. So it gives us an order number. And then this pops up and tells us that there is we also create a PDF of it with the terms and conditions.
Okay.
And the terms and conditions come from it's actually stored in a separate file. And so you can have different terms and conditions by the type of equipment.
Mm-hmm.
We go and look at the group and product and determine which terms and conditions to put on it. And then we haven't done this yet, but we're also going to be integrating this into DocuSign.
Okay. Into DocuSign, not your own little. How do you have signature capture now then?
It's just all done through the mobile application.
Okay, so why do you
DocuSign? Primarily, that's driven by our customers. That's what they wanted to use.
Oh, okay. I mean, but what's the purpose if you can do it on the mobile? Is this from the person in the facility emailing it to someone, or? Yes,
yeah. This is so we have So if you were, for instance, if you did it when you did the delivery.
Uh-huh.
We are doing that. We are putting, you see the same terms and conditions and all that kind of stuff on it.
Okay. I mean, DocuSign, the reason why I ask is because DocuSign is so expensive. And that's why I was wondering if you got to have that for every person that, that's sending an email, then that just gets ridiculous.
No, and you don't have to integrate to it. You could go ahead and email this document and get it signed, and then you can put it in the orders folder when it comes back.
Okay.
mean, we're just doing the DocuSign because we've got some customers ask us to do it.
Okay. All right.
I mean, that's how we drive our development. You know, our customers ask us to do stuff, and we do it.
Can you email that to me?
Sure.
Let me. So I'll pull it up on my phone.
Sorry, I don't have your email address.
ALLAN at AtlanticLiftSystems.com.
I think I got that right. Now, if you see an overrun on the terms and getting that into the signature line, that's something we know about.
If you what?
It's possible that you'll see that the terms go over the signature lines.
Mm-hmm.
We know about that, and that's being fixed.
Okay. Nothing's come through yet. You said your internet was being slow today.
Yeah. Let me make sure I typed your email address right here first. See if I got a bounce back. Yep, I did.
Did you spell Allan, ALLAN?
ALLAN at Atlantic Lift System. I see what I did. Actually, it's .xom.
Gets you every time.
Yeah. Let's see. Is that thing on there? And won't me download the attachment. Oh, wait a minute.
What are you doing?
I was gonna get another one sent to you, but I just realized. Well, right there. So here's the rental agreement. Here's what I was talking about, those signature lines right there. The terms are just not pushing that down. It's a PDF formatting problem. Okay, LN at Atlantic Lift Systems. Okay, hopefully we'll get a better result this time. So Alan, what else is on your mind?
Here it came. So where would I sign for it? How could I sign?
Well, right now there isn't a way for you to sign other than to to print it out, sign it, and scan it and send it back. That's what the DocuSign.
Oh, so you don't have signature capture then?
No, we do. We have a kiosk that will let you do that, and then in the mobile application we let you do that too.
Okay.
But from inside of here, we do not. There's, like I said, we do have a kiosk. So, like for instance, if somebody was picking that up, we could send the order to the kiosk, and somebody can sign. It's an Android application, and you sign off on it in the field. That's what e-sign is for. So your rental agreement.
Okay.
And I can send you one of those.
Yeah, that's what I was trying. So I see what you're saying now. I just wasn't clear. So why would someone want access to this versus just using the mobile app?
Just different ways of people do business.
Okay.
And you can use the combination of them.
Okay. All right. One of the things I didn't mention, CRM.
Mm-hmm.
Saw on your cut sheet you have that though.
Yep. Yeah. So inside of the ERP, you launch it from this icon, and then we also have a mobile iOS or Android application that interfaces to it.
Okay.
And you you schedule a call here, you'd see it on the mobile device right away. If you completed the call, you'd see that completed call here. It interfaces directly to the database.
All right, this is the CRM. So can they create contracts out of here?
Not today, but they could.
Okay.
I mean, some of the things you're asking, we just haven't been asked to do.
That's fine. These are just things that we know that we wanted. Where, like, if they're in the CRM and they want to create a quote, they can create it. Can you create a quote in this?
Yeah, you can create we have an equipment quote.
But I mean a rental quote.
But not a rental quote. A rental quote and an order are basically almost the same. So you just choose whether you're doing a sale, a return, or a quote.
Okay.
But we could certainly launch that from here and pre-fill customer and all that kind of stuff. That'd be simple to do.
Do they have access through this as to what that customer has on? I'm guessing no, but has on rent.
Yeah, they do.
Through the CRM or through
the CRM. Well, what it does is it links you to Customer Central. Let me find one that I know probably has something. Come on. Seriously.
I see Joe Smith on there. You remember the basketball player Joe Smith from Maryland? Went pro, #1 pick.
Yeah.
He was on NBC or CNBC or something with Alex Rodriguez, and I guess Alex Rodriguez is going to mentor people now, but he's made $61 million, and then after taxes and fees and like management fees and stuff, he over his career he made $18 million, and he's bankrupt or almost basically bankrupt. He's making $26,000 a year, and he's got expenses of $150,000 a year.
Jeez, that's crazy.
18 million.
Yeah. So so from the CRM, we give them a place here to launch Customer Central. And we have a rental tab. This is their rental history, and then this is what they have on rent right now. Oh, I'm sorry, and history.
And then you see quotes and reservations. But
quotes, reservations.
Are the quotes done in the main system or in the?
They're done in the main system today.
All right.
We have on our development schedule to add that to the CRM, the mobile CRM. But the customer who wants to do it just hasn't pulled the trigger on it yet. I'm not sure what they're waiting on.
Okay. Oh, because you're charging them for it, I take it.
Yeah.
Once someone does it, then you have it available for everybody.
Yeah, we give it to everybody at that point, and then the advantage to the customer paying for it is that they get it to work exactly how they want, and then we tweak it from there if customers want something different, but they get exactly what they want.
Okay. Now, with that said, does that make everybody's system different, or is everyone's system the same? Does that make sense?
No, we almost every one of our customers has some level of customization.
Okay.
To the software.
So when you do an upgrade, does that customization stay or does it go away?
No, it stays. We have a variable in the system that we name something specific, so like, Hug and Haul is one of our customers, and so their variable says Hug. So they have a lot of customization in different ways. But
how long have you been with Hug and Haul?
Longer than I've been here, which is 14 years.
And with Hug and Haul, because they actually have a pure rental company. Is that rental company on this too?
Yep.
It is. Okay.
Yeah, and they're one of the ones that utilizes the Rouse Analytics.
Yeah. They're a big company.
Yeah, they are. They're getting bigger all the time. It seems like they keep making acquisitions, and I tell you what, that Taylor forklift line just catapulted them. I understand if you can get that line, that's like printing money. So. Oh yeah. Yeah. Yeah, they bought a company called Arkla Taylor.
That was out of Texas a few years ago, right?
Yeah, they were in Texas and I guess Arkansas and Louisiana. And then they made a few other acquisitions, but John Hug told me that it was the real reason. For instance, they bought the Toyota forklift dealer in Oklahoma City, and not because they wanted the Toyota forklift dealership. They wanted to put a Taylor store there. So, yeah.
Yeah, we used to be a Toyota dealer. Who gives a shit about that, though?
Yeah, that's what I thought. That's what I thought. You guys used to be a Toyota dealer.
Now, I guess because Toyota chose Diesel and everything, I mean, that's why we went on it. But
yeah.
Yeah,
they've kind of they pretty much looks like they've abandoned that.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Because it's just not very good software. I mean, they tried selling it for like half price for the longest time. I'm sure Toyota was subsidizing it. And then they started twisting people's arms real hard. But I think we lost one Toyota dealer because of it.
Oh yeah, who'd you lose?
Conger.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I know them.
Yeah, they chose the extra parts discount, I guess, instead.
Well, President's Club. You get to get
Right.
President's Club. Okay, so Hug and Haul, they're probably a 20 location branch or company.
I'd say that's probably about right.
So they're not even your biggest. Okay, well they're a good company. It's nice to hear.
Yeah, they're a very good company.
So what else did I want to see? Because we got about 30 minutes left based off the what did I mention earlier? Did you write anything down or?
Hopefully Jason did. I did not.
Yes.
So did you write some of those? What was some of the other things you mentioned, Jason?
Logistics. So how?
Yeah,
we use a lot of outside.
and hours.
What's that?
Oh, about clarifying if those were the hours on that one screen. I took a screenshot of it.
Oh no, what some of the things he mentioned that he was looking for and needed. You're supposed to take note of that, Jason, so he can satisfy his needs.
Well, yeah, I'll have it recorded. I have this session recorded. I'll go back and listen to that part again because I just been jotting notes.
Logistics, like how is the routing done? Do you have anything from a logistics standpoint?
For routing technicians or routing truck drivers?
Truck drivers or technicians. preferably the truck drivers more so.
Yeah, we haven't done anything ourselves other than we send addresses to a routing software. So typically our customers already had some sort of a GPS or something that was tracking their trucks, and we just send addresses to them and do the routing.
All right. So, do you have a calendar that manages the transportation?
We have a calendar that you can use for any purpose that you like. So you can use it to schedule technicians, schedule people, schedule trucks, whatever you want to do with it.
Okay. And what's your all's hourly rate?
Our hourly rate is 100 for development. It is $200 an hour.
That's steep. Okay. And what's your hourly service rate?
$150.
Okay. And
however, but keep in mind that we don't bill you for everything you ask us to do. For instance, some of the things that we've already talked about today would just make our system better. That's the kind of stuff that we do for free.
Well, I can give you lots of stuff. All the stuff I want makes your system better.
Well, it might be a situation where we're like, it makes the system better for you. But if it's something that it's like, that's really going to make it, our other customers are going to love it. Other prospects are going to love it. That's the kind of stuff that we just put in, as regular development, get it done and put it into the system. However, if you come up with something and you're like, we're like, I don't think anybody else is going to want that, or it's going to be very limited to what people might want, then you're welcome if you're a member of our user group, and that's a separate corporation from us. They have a source code agreement with us in case something happens to us, but you can go to them and say, hey, how many of you guys would like it to work this way? And if nothing else, you find another couple of customers that might want to share the cost.
Okay. Is there a cost to be part of the user group?
Yeah, it's very minimal. I think it's like $300 a year or something like that.
Okay.
Yeah, it's
and it's all the users. Is it all or a majority of the users are owners of the software?
Yeah, I would say probably. I would say most of them. I really don't know because we're not privy to that information. But I would say probably 90% of our customers pay the membership, and then we're about to. As a matter of fact, just in a few weeks, we're having our user group meeting. This year it's in New Orleans, which I'm really scared of because they don't need any extra excuse to drink. So, but anyway,
what does that $300 cover?
What that does is it gives you access to. Well, first of all, it gives you kind of a pool into the source code agreement that I mentioned earlier, and then it also gives you the ability to. They operate and kind of an internet chat room type of deal, so you can ask questions. Hey, I'm about to start doing this. How many other people are doing it? Hey, does anybody have a query to get this information? Just one answer could, will pay for the $300.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
I mean, they're a pretty friendly group. It amazes me how helpful they are. I don't know how they have the time. But they,
it's users within each, so call me a licensee if we bought your system. And so then I joined the user group. So the user group is just basically a bunch of licensees.
yes.
All or different people, whatever.
Yep, Hug and Haul, Star Equipment, Rico Equipment. I mean, those are all really, really active people. Fallsway Equipment, they're pretty active. Anderson Material Handling, they're pretty active in the group.
So if you had the source code, they have access to the source code. Could you, as being part of the user, would you be able to hire your own developer then, or not?
Well, no. The way the source code agreement works is if we become if something happens to us, we go out of business. Or I also think it says my recollection is it says if we're unwilling to do something, then the source code agreement gets turned over to the group. And then but the idea is so they can, they don't have to immediately go look for new software. They could hire developers to continue to develop it.
All right. Well, that's
it's like an insurance package, kind of.
Well, that's pretty good. That's the first I've heard of that. So we haven't got anywhere other than this demo. You've demoed to Jason, and obviously would be more demos with some people. But it seems pretty functional just from, I mean, if everything else is the same way, obviously not accounting is going to have some different intricacies and stuff, but what are we talking about from a 20 user person from a cost standpoint?
So would you be thinking about cloud or?
Yeah.
Okay.
Is the cloud buying the license and then you all hosting and we're paying for the hosting, and how's that all break out?
Yeah, so you don't license the software up front. You just pay us a monthly fee based on the number of users that you have.
Oh, okay.
And then in that fee, that includes the use of the software, the platform, the backup, and your support.
Okay.
And also maintenance to the software, as well as, so if you find something, we fix it in there just like we would for, somebody who's licensed the software. And then we also apply the updates as we come out with new version updates.
Okay.
With the version updates, you get a product enhancement bulletin that tells you all the new stuff that's in it and how to turn it on if you need to, and then or want to. And then the only thing that we bill outside of that is it would be price files.
Okay, what does that mean?
So if you get a manufacturer price file for parts, let's say, then we bill by the occurrence of that. So if if the manufacturer gives it to us directly, then we notify you that we have it, and you can decide whether you want it or not. If you decide you want it, then we'll apply that, and it's $150 per occurrence. Okay. So that's the only thing outside of the cloud that we do.
Okay, and then SMH, do you all link with SMH into the system?
TVH? Now? Yeah, SMH, yeah.
I still call them SMH from the days of...
Yeah, understood. Yes, we get a price file, and we also have we get a cross reference if the dealer wants it. And then we also have a way for you to electronically send POs to them.
Okay. Okay. So, I mean, Smart Equip does it. You all never said about Smart Equip. Do you have Smart Equip integration?
We do. What I don't know is we actually did it for a particular customer, and that customer it was kind of an offshoot of Whacker, the manufacturer.
Yeah.
It was called Equip Pro, and they did. And so anyway, we did the integration for them to Smart Equip. What I don't know if it still works or not.
Okay.
But we can as long as Smart Equip will work with us, and I'm sure they will. we could either the integration still works, or we might have to do some tweaking to it. But we did at one point, at least we had it.
Okay. So on a per user, what's your just ballpark figure? And I guess that changes if they're just a mobile user versus a full-on user.
Not so much on the cloud. It does on the because we have a little better way of controlling who what they're doing if they're running in-house. But for 20 users, you'd probably be looking at something like $120 a user.
Okay.
And I say you don't have to buy any. The only hardware you need is something you can connect to the internet. So you don't need servers. You don't need Microsoft licenses, which is even more expensive than the hardware anymore. The software, you don't have to license it up front. There's some, especially from a startup standpoint, there's a lot of cost savings.
And if a user goes away, we can tell you, and then that gets dropped off for that month?
Yes.
Okay. And do you all have price breaks if I went to 100 users or 50 users or whatever?
Oh, yeah, because our costs drop.
Okay. All right. Okay. Well, what are the next steps? I mean, we have a pretty good idea. I think we have a document of all the things we need. We might have to change that based off or reword it so it makes a little more sense to you guys. But what do we do from here as far as demos? Do you all make a on-site visit, or?
We certainly can.
Okay.
And it's not unusual, especially you're getting really, if you're getting serious, then we will be happy to come out.
I'm not going to speak for your software at this point in time, and Jason would be heading this up more so than me. He just kind of wanted me to see what I thought, because in the industry, and I haven't seen a ton because we probably went through 4 screens. There's just, every time I've done a demo, you only get through like 4 screens because there's so much shit so many questions to be asked.
Right.
That's why we made this last company come out, and then the references we got, they were so horrible. We said there's no way we can go with you. No one wanted no one gave them good references. So the support is so bad, and that's what's been such a bad thing with Dysel. It seems like their support's getting a little better, but it's just been horrible over the last 4 years, or 5 or 6 years. what's the next step with you guys?
Well, we can either do some additional web demonstrations, or if you'd like for us to come out, we can come out on site. Or if you'd like to talk to some references.
Yeah, what I'd like probably some references, and then maybe set up some regular demos, because I don't want to make you all come out here if my team doesn't think it's going to do what it will do, or do what they need it to have done. But I want to get feedback as to what they don't think it will be done, or what they don't think it will do, because you might be able to make some, easy changes to it or whatever. I don't know. So I'd rather have some demos set up so we don't have you all have the expense of you coming out here just to come out here,
Right. Well, we appreciate that.
Well,
but yeah, I mean, we can go through, do by department, or however you think is best.
Probably by department. So PMs and stuff. Does this give you automatic? You have this many PMs done, and then can you set it up by different types of PMs, like an annual inspection? Is that all that same what we saw from the mobile side? The check-in.
Yeah, so it'll do it. We've got a bunch of different. So you can set up for a piece of equipment. You can set up all kinds of different intervals, either by days or hours. We can get the hours from telematics or GPS to update those hours, and then you can have, like I said, all different types of PMs set up on it, different checklists associated with them.
Okay.
And then even on your, especially on the rental fleet, we actually can do, if you're not getting hours, we can just calculate things on days on rent.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that way you're not PMing stuff that you're not renting.
Okay. What is pricing part? Yeah, I don't need to go see all this. I'd rather have my people see it who are using this stuff. What is
Understood.
This truck? What's this truck that you have?
That truck, that's the transportation log. So it's a log of all the things that we'd need to have transported, either pickups, deliveries, transfers.
Okay.
And then you have them not dispatched, and when they get completed, they go to history.
Mm-hmm.
If you're the person managing the dispatch, you can go here and say, which carrier is going to carry it. If you've got company trucks, and you can, get a truck ID, give it priorities, things like that.
Now, does this link in with the rental contract or no?
It flows from the rental contract. So when they set the rental contract up, there's a place for them to say, I need to have these transported.
Uh-huh.
Then we just take whatever equipment is on that rental contract and put it in here into the transportation.
Okay, nice. So let me ask you, so because we do so much rental, we have a lot of outside hauler use.
Mm-hmm.
Is there any way to make it so that if they were out in the field, they had mobile capabilities, or that, like, can you? I don't know how you would do it, because I don't know that. I don't. Do you have people doing that now? I guess, where they have outside haulers having the mobile capabilities, or no?
Where an outside hauler has the mobile capability?
Yeah, so they can get signature capture and everything while or are they just getting,
No, we haven't really put this into an app form yet.
Okay.
But we could. I suspect at some point we'll be asked to do that. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's really, I mean, we already have the signature capture. We already have the, we're already kind of doing this from the dispatch side, or for the field tech side. So, it wouldn't be crazy to do. As a matter of fact, we put this transportation thing in. We put that in for Hug and Haul. That was one of their requests.
Yeah. Well, that's what I was talking about from a logistics. How would this link into the calendar if you schedule this stuff, and how they all intertwine? Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
So like on the calendar,
yeah, so this
took a truck and said, hey, rental contract XYZ is going to be, and then it gives all the needed information.
Yeah, so it would, so we've got, in here, we've got the estimated, dispatched, we have all the dates.
Mm-hmm.
Just pass it over to the calendar.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, Jason will be back on Friday, so I'll send him an email. And what's your email, Jason?
I can shoot you out an email. I have your email address. It's just jmorton@ebs-next.com.
J Morton, MORTON.
Yes.
At what? EBS?
-next.com.
NEXT?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. I'm just going to say, please follow Jason on getting demo software, or getting demos set up with each department. Okay.
Yeah, because we'd done the demonstration for your folks before, and as a matter of fact, we thought it went really well, and then all of a sudden we were told that you chose these other people.
I don't think you've done it for us. I think you did it for Jason, and that was it.
Well, it might have been. I don't remember for sure. But I know I know we did a demo for you guys.
Yeah, I know you did a demo with Jason and my ops manager, but he was brand new and didn't know a whole lot, and he probably doesn't know a whole lot from a functionality standpoint with Dysel, because he's not in the system. He's been dealing with a whole lot of other things, but nonetheless, we were probably like 85% down the pathway, and it was probably at the time too painful, but we just ripped the Band-Aid, and so we're starting the process again, unfortunately. Okay. So anyway, I'll get these set up. Say we sign today. What's the integration time period, or implementation integration?
It usually happens over about a 3-month period. And when I say usually, sometimes the last step gets delayed, mainly because it doesn't necessarily have to happen like, clockwork, because it's a financial visit. So our systems is all date driven. So when you get ready to close your first month on the system, we typically come back and just help you make sure that the financials, everything gets closed properly. The financials all look good. Talk about the month, what it takes to close a month versus closing a year. which is almost identical with a couple of extra steps. And then, so we start with a pre-site. And so we would send whoever is going to be managing your project. They would be coming out to and basically just learn about your company. How do you, what's your chart of accounts look like? What manufacturers do you represent? What are the data sources we're going to convert?
Mm-hmm. Have you converted anyone from Diesel?
No, but I suspect it'll be relatively easy. I understand they have a SQL database, right?
They do.
Okay. So do we.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I thought. So
yours is not Dynamics. Yours is all in-house stuff, right?
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, and so the SQL, just because of our SQL knowledge, that just makes it easier. I mean, some of those, you get some of those old clunky Unix flat file ones, that gets sometimes pretty tough to deal with. Just to get the data is even hard. So what we do is from that visit, they know enough to convert the data, get the control files set up, and then we would come back usually about 30 days from that pre-site is when we would schedule the training, and we would train your users using the converted data. And that helps us make sure that the data conversion all was successful, because through the training, we'll recognize whether something wasn't right. And we'll reconvert that if we need to, but then typically after we've trained you for 20 users, we can probably train everybody in a week, do a final conversion of the data, usually on a Saturday or Sunday, depending on if you work on Saturday or not. And then you're live on the system on Monday. We have people there doing over-the-shoulder training. And then when you then we come back whenever you're ready to close that first month.
Okay. All right.
So it's not terribly painful. We try to make it as painless as possible. Try to do everything from a conversion standpoint electronically, so you don't have to do any manual work.
Do you have an SLA agreement for the hosting?
Yes.
Okay. We'd like to see that.
Okay.
Horror story of the company we were talking to, these people went through the implementation. It was a nightmare, and so they were like, we're not going to stay with this software, we're moving, and they didn't have an SLA agreement, and the people were like, we're not releasing the data.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. That's yeah. We've heard other people doing that too, but that's not the way we. I mean, if you're not happy, we're the industry's too small, in our opinion, to get a bad reputation.
Well, yeah. You guys are also from Texas, so.
We're honorable people here.
Well, I like people from Texas more than some other states like New Jersey or New York, but
right.
I'm just messing around. So we want an SLA, and obviously if you're hosting stuff, we want to make sure it's our information and everything.
Sure.
Okay. Well,
good.
I think I sent the email. Did I?
Did you get it, Jason?
I just sent it. I didn't send it. So I just sent it, and
I'm checking it right now. Yes, I just got it. All right.
So yeah, so we'll get our Jasons together and then get this thing scheduled out.
Yes, sir.
All right, well, that sounds good. Well, I appreciate it.
Certainly. Thank you for your time today.
Yeah, likewise. All right, well, then I look forward to talking to you guys later.
Okay. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right.
Talk to you soon.
All right.
Bye-bye.